How did you get into music? Tell me where you're from, your childhood, and how you gravitated towards music.
Okay, yeah, I'm from the north side of St. Louis, O'Fallon Park area. I grew up in the 4500 block area. Music, you know, just entertainment. I feel like the arts just always kind of been in me. My grandma, she was in church. She sang a lot.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So just like a lot of musicians early on, like, you know, my first memories of music is really, you know, the church choir and all of that kind of stuff. And then, you know, from there, I just had different influences. I had older cousins that was rapping, people in my neighborhood. So I was kind of influenced by that. You know, of course, some of the bigger acts, you know, Nelly and all of those other type of people. So like Jaquan's, you know, all those type of, you know, artists. So, you know, I had a lot of influence, you know, a lot of people to look up to coming up. And, you know, I just kind of tried to do it myself. I've been making rap since I was like 8 years old, you know what I'm saying? Performing them in front of my family, in front of my friends in the neighborhood or whatnot, you know, so. It always kind of been in me, you know, throughout life. It always been times where, like, you know, throughout high school and all that, I was mostly like sports growing up.
Okay.
You know, like music wasn't the main thing. Like it was just always a hobby to me. And then once I went to college, I went to Lincoln University, HBCU. So shout out to all the HBCU students out there. I went to Lincoln University, and that's when I really started to like hone my skills for real. You know. Do open mics, do talent shows, do all of that different kind of stuff. And then it just started kind of taking off. People started taking a liking to me. I started kind of noticing that I was good. I used to kind of like stand out in the crowd when I go perform. I noticed that, you know, the level was a little different. So I eventually was like, you know, let me actually put out some music. So 2019, I put out my first project, the Love Tape. Spent a lot of time in Houston right before I put it out. Like after I graduated, I went straight to Houston.
And I'll say shout out to Houston.
Yeah, shout out to the H, man. So I spent a lot of time out there. I met one of my biggest mentors today, AJ McQueen, which is a dope artist from St. Louis, but he kind of moved to Houston when he was like around like 13, 14, but he from St. Louis though. So yeah, AJ McQueen, met him out there. We formed a dope relationship. I was just really inspired by like his movement and what he was doing, and I kind of like applied that to what I had going and brought it back to my partners in St. Louis, and you know, we put it together. We dropped the Love Tape, and people just took to it. It was different. It was good music. I kind of knew that when we was making it. You know, I always studied the artists that came before me in St. Louis, and you know, the bigger artists in the game, and just tried to see what I liked, what I didn't like, and you know, we put it all together. We put it out.
Okay, gotcha. So I love the way that you said